it's finally time for Mihawk's debut leader. Is it worth using? Is it good? Is it bad? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Mabi here, and today I'm going to be giving you my personal deck profile for this green Dracule Mihawk leader that comes out in OP14. The whole game plan here is with your leader's ability, you're going to be resting your own cards. It can be Dawn, it could be characters, and even a stage in order to play more stages, play more events, or even attach them to do massive damage. When you rest cards, you can sometimes get some benefits too, which is why this deck is all about resting your cards and your opponent's cards. Now, let's go ahead and talk about every single card in this video breakdown. I'm going to give you a lot of tips and tricks and some more noteworthy stuff, etc. If you guys are just looking for the deck profile, you can pause the video, head on over to the website Mabi TCG.com. There you can get this deck and many other decks in image and text format. Alright, so let's get started. I do have to say, out of all the OP14 leaders that we've built so far, I feel like the Dracule Mihawk one, this one is the more open-ended of all the cards, of all the leaders here, meaning there's lots of different ways you can build this. So I'm recording this video about a week or two before it actually releases over in Japan. I'm not trying to copy anyone's deck. This is my own personal cook, so take that as you will. Grab the good stuff, leave out the bad stuff, and make your own deck that you think works. In a couple of weeks or months, when this actually comes out in the English version, we're going to be coming back, remaking this with a nice, really fine-tuned deck, but this is what we have here. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how much of this will change after, more tournament stuff comes out, and we'll see if anyone makes a Mihawk deck that is really crazy good. So let me know in the comments below what you like, what you dislike, and of course, which leader you would like to see next. Now, as always, if you guys are looking for gameplay, this is just the deck profile video. I've already done a ton of duels with this, playing IRL with friends using our printed out proxies. There'll be a link in the description to the deck profile playlist as well as the duels playlist, so you guys can see this deck and every deck that we cover in action. All right, so let's go ahead and get started talking about the leader first, then we'll go over the game plan. So the leader here is Dracule Mihawk from OP14. As you can see here, it's a 5-life leader / 5000, very tanky. There has 2 abilities. The first one here, I really don't like it, and I'm saying I don't like it because I just don't like it as a mechanic. It's strong, but I don't like it as a mechanic. If your opponent's leader has slash, this leader gains 1000 power. Having this here, going off on a tiny tangent, the game is already extremely matchup heavy, but specifically giving you benefits on, if your leader is this specific archetype or this specific, attribute, I think it's not a good look for the game. If anything, this thing should have been nerfed where you get 1000 on your turn rather than your opponent, rather than also on your opponent's turn, so you're 6000 permanently. I think it's not healthy, and I feel like for the game itself, and I feel like it should not be matchup dependent. In a perfect world, any leader would be good with any leader, but of course we know that is not the case. This one certainly doesn't help, but it all depends on you. Alright, so the second ability here is activate main once per turn. Rest one of your cards. If there is a character with 5 or more on the board, set up 3 Dawn as active, then you cannot play any more character cards this turn. Now it says you may rest one of your cards. As I said at the very beginning, you can rest, you can technically rest the leader if you want. A leader, a character, a stage, etc., or another Dawn. Those are the ones you actually want to rest, depending on the situation, of course. You get 3 more Dawn as active. You can be putting them on different characters to do more attacking, or play more cards, or leave them up if you want to play some events for counters. And you can't play any more character cards that turn, so that's how pretty much this thing works. If you guys are enjoying the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. It takes a lot of time to set up these decks, to print them out, to make the deck profile videos and the duels, but we love doing it, and we would like your support. It's free to do, so thanks a lot. Alright, so looking at the game plan here in my notes. So, like I said, you rest your own cards in order to play the events here. Now, in this deck, you have 4 events. These events are going to help you counter, or you can go ahead and use them to KO stuff or rest stuff, and that's how it's going to work. The other thing here, you're going to be playing your stages. So this is an extremely important stage, which we'll talk about later, and being able to, rest your own cards. Resting this is one of the best things you can ever do because it doesn't affect anything else on the board. So resting the stage is going to be top priority. If you get that when you start the game, keep it. Freaking keep it. And of course, attaching cards. You can attach it to your leader to attack up to 8,000, put them around on your characters, or as I said, leave it. Let's talk about the early game. You definitely want to go first. You have big power spikes at 5, 7, and of course 9. So we definitely want to do those. You're gonna be setting up via searching either the Perona, which is great because it searches for slashing. In this deck, there are 35 targets for slashing, which is very good, and also 35 targets for slashing plus events, because this Perona searches for events as well. So I can grab these events as well as slashing, and it's really good because every single one of your late game is slashing. So this is a really great card for the deck. Or if you can't search, you definitely want to set up your leader ability later on via putting down this Kikunojo, which is a 2k, but it works with your leader ability, or the stage, which is the highest priority. So if you start the game with the Perona, or you start with the Mihawk, keep it super crazy good. Amazing. Mid game, you're going to be setting up even more defense. In this deck, we have some more defenses here with the Koshiro blocker, and of course this 4-cost Zoro blocker. This is a promo card. And then you're going to be slowly putting on some 5-drops. In this, we have 6 5-drops. You have these Peronas and these Smokers. Both of them are pretty good to play at any time. And then once you have a 5-cost on the board, you can start resting a lot of your stuff. Kikunojo, or rest your Coffin Boats, and then you'll be able to use your leader ability to have more Dawn to, leave up, etc., attach more things. Then your late game, you have aggressive control. You have starting with Shanks. Shanks, you can play it on the board and you get benefits right away. You could rest another character, and on your opponent's turn, you get negative 1000 power during your opponent's turn. Then that turn, you can either go into 2 different types of ways to end the game. You can go, if you have like, I don't know, a good life lead, 3, 2 health, good board, play the Zoro out, because next turn you get many swings, especially using your leader ability too. You can get more benefits on the board. Or if you are in a little bit more trouble, you want to sort of freeze the board a little bit, you have Dracule Mihawk. Especially if you kind of brick in your hand, this one will allow you to stop a character, and also on opponent's attack, you can trash some bricks out of your hand. So that's pretty much what you want to do. And then, of course, you want to end the game with Hody, resting stuff and attacking. This is an extremely powerful card, because if you just have a Hody, you can go ahead and play this, rest another card. This character gains rush. You can bring 3 more Dawn up. And then you can go ahead and attach it to the Hody itself, attach it to other things, etc. Or you can go ahead and rest stuff with this, the Demonic and Aura 9-sword style, which came out in OP12, using 4 Dawn total. You can rest 2 opponents' Dawn or characters. Really crazy good. So that's pretty much the whole game plan here. All right, let's go over these specifics here. So as I said, slashing events 35 targets, which is really good for your Perona. Your leader. So you have 16 cards, character cards in the deck that allow you to actually activate your leader ability. You absolutely need a 5-cost on the board. However, it doesn't have to be necessarily you having a 5-cost. If your opponent has one too, you can absolutely do that as well. But here is the ones you can use, starting with the Smoker and the Perona. Those ones allow you to get the ball rolling and start doing some stuff. You have 16 1k counter cards in the deck, which is low, pretty low. I usually like to have 20 or so. You have 10 2ks, which is average. You have 12 bricks, once again, average as well, and I don't mind that. As long as you have some drawing or sifting in the deck, and pretty much the only draw sift you actually have in this deck is going to be your late game Mihawk, so you're going to be keeping a lot of those bricks in your hand until the late game with this card. And then you have 8 blocking cards, which is going to be 4 Koshiros and 4 Zoros. You have 8 events and stages. These 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 stages. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about every single card, why you add it to the deck, how it works, etc. Right? So we already talked about Mihawk, so rest stuff and keep going. The Perona. Search, slash, and events, right? If you don't have your stage, you have the stage. If you already have late game, if you already have at least 1 Mihawk or 1 Zoro, search anything else relevant for the upcoming turns. So either get one of these 2, or definitely get the Smoker if you can. Unfortunately, you can't search for the Perona here, but that's completely fine. All right, then we have the Kikunojo. This is a really cool card for the deck. This came out in OP14 122. End of your turn, set this character as active. Now you can play this on turn 1, and then on a future turn, if you don't have a turn 2, you can put 3 Dawn on her, attack for 5000. She gets rested, but at the end of the turn, she brings herself back up. Now, if somehow you unfortunately do not get your stage and you have another 5-cost, your opponent has a 5-cost on the board, and you're ready to start attacking, but you need to rest some stuff. Luckily, if you don't have her stage, Kikunojo will be here, so you don't have to use her to attack. Use your leader ability to rest her. Do what you need to do with your Dawn, and then at the end of the turn, she comes back as active, making it so she can't easily be removed by any sort of attack, which is amazing. Now, for more of your 1-cost, before we move over to the 2-cost, the Demonic 9-sword. This is a good event here. Straw Hat, of course, OP12. Cost 1, 2 abilities. Main, rest 3 Dawn, 4 Dawn total. Rest 2 of your opponent's characters or Dawn. As I said, use it for late game. You can rest some of their blocks, or if it's like a purple Straw Hat deck you're fighting, they have Gum Giant. Rest some of their Dawns, be super annoying. And of course, the counter is super good for the deck. Remember, you are adding Dawn. You're restanding Dawn. You can either attach them or even leave them up, so you can go ahead and use events like this. Even if you don't have events, your opponent knows they're in the deck, so you can maybe sort of feint that way up to 3,000, which is great. And the other one we have is For Fun. This is a new event from OP14. 2 abilities here that cost 1. The first one is rest 3 cards, so 4 Dawn total. KO a rested 7,000 base or less. Not terrible. It could be a nice little surprise KO card for only 4. That's pretty good. And then, of course, the counter, same thing as the other card. Just go ahead and leave some Dawn up in order to use this for the more benefits of plus 3,000 on your leader only. So keep that in mind. Now, for the final 1 cost is going to be your stage. Amazingly good. I love this card so much. 100% you run 4. This is Coffin Boat, East Blue, 7 Warlords of the Sea from OP14. 2 abilities. On play, if your leader is Dracule Mihawk, you draw 1 card, so you play it, and it immediately replaces itself. Awesome. End of your turn. If your leader is Mihawk, set a Dawn card as active. Amazing. So you can go ahead and play this on turn 1, draw a card, and then you can put 1 Dawn face up, 1 face up, back up to do more shenanigans, right? This is just an important card. If you get multiple in your hand, no problemo, keep playing them and playing them to keep sifting and sifting those out, because you're going to be resting your Coffin Boats anyway to put those Dawn back up, so you're not really losing that much benefits of, oh, I could have, used those 3 Dawn for something else. If you need to play this to, get new cards, do it. All right, time for your 2 costs. We have Koshiro from OP12, 2/1/1. If one of your 5 costs or lower slash cards would be KO'd by an effect, you may rest this character instead. It's a decent card for the deck. It only, the highest cost here is a 5 cost that it protects, and it can only protect this Smoker as one of your 5 costs. But then you also want to protect the Zoro and your Odin. Pretty much that's all it's there for. It won't save your late game Shanks, your Zoros, or your Mihawks, but it's still a very good early game blocker. I really like putting at least 4 blockers in every deck because I feel like the application is really nice, right? So the Koshiro, also searchable by Perona. Next is going to be your more of your 2Ks, Tashigi from OP10, 3/4/2. When one of your green characters, any one of your green characters, other than Tashigi, would be removed from play by an effect, KO effects, bounce back, trashing, you can go ahead and rest this character. If you really don't have a turn 2, if you're going first or second, this is not the most terrible to play, because once again, your late game is Shanks, Zoro, and Mihawk, so it will absolutely protect them. So you definitely want to keep setting up as a priority, set up with more searching, some more defensive, some more stages, these guys. But if you just, this is here because it's an absolutely just amazing card to protect cards with. Not searchable by anything, though. Next is going to be your last of your second to last in 2Ks. This is your Dracule Mihawk from ST12, 3/4/2. On play, if you have 2 or less characters at the time that you play this, meaning this is the first or second character that you play, this one can't be a third one on the field. You can play a 4 or lower Shigeru Kingdom or a slash character other than Mihawk from your hand rested. In this deck, it's going to be a slash character. So the best ones to play are going to be these 4 cards here. This Odin and this Zoro. Other than that, it's a searching card. It's a searched 2K, not bad. All right, time for your 4 costs. You have Kozuki Odin is a new card from OP14, 4/5/2. On your opponent's turn, if this card is rested, this character gains 2,000 power. This isn't necessarily the worst card to actually play regularly or with the Mihawk. If you, once again, somehow miss with the Kikunojo, or if you miss the Coffin Boat, and later on you have a 5 cost, but you need to rest things, this isn't the worst thing to rest. Sure, you can attack with 5,000, but when it's rested, it gets plus 2,000, making it a 7,000. So if you play this straight out, and then next turn you attack with it, your opponent has to spend more resources to get rid of it. So that's not the worst thing at all to play this with this card. So it's a very, very decent card for the deck. Nice. All right, and I would say this is really good for a Kozuki deck. For the Land and Water decks, this is an amazing card as well. All right, next is going to be Zoro. So this one is a promo Zoro. You can go ahead and replace this if you want. You can replace this, because it might be hard to get, with the other Zoro that's 4 cost right here. So you can replace it with either this one from PRBO2, or you can replace it with this one here if you want, which, it has better stuff against slashing things. But I found out that this one's actually pretty fun, and I want to try this one out. So this Zoro here is going to be, once again, promo 114, 4/5/1. This has an 8 blocker for 5, meh. And at the end of your turn, if you have 1 or more active Dawn cards, you're going to be setting this character as active. So if you're able to get 1 or 2 of these Zoros up, then every single turn, as long as you have Coffin Boat or you leave a Dawn up, this guy will come back up. So you can keep attacking for 5, 5, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5. And then during the late game, when you really need to defend, they're going to be ready to defend for you. So they're searchable as well, able to be played by Mihawk. I think in this deck in particular, It has a lot of benefits, so I think it's a pretty fun card. All right, next off, it's going to be Smoker, your first of your 5 costs. Once you get a 5 cost or your opponent, you can start resting things to get your 3 Dawn back up. So, Smoker, OP10, 5/7 slash, so searchable by Perona, and it's a brick. Has Banish for 7, Banish is powerful. Activate main, set up one of your Dawn cards as active. Then you cannot set your Dawn card active through character effects for the rest of the turn. So, the second effect will not affect your leader ability at all. You can go ahead and use this ability to get a Dawn up, and then rest another card to get another Dawn up, and then if you play this on curve for 5, you're going to get 4 Dawn up to be able to do a lot of things. But just remember, you can't play any more characters that turn, but adding stuff on, maybe your Kikunojo that you had on the field beforehand, putting up to 5,000, 6,000 attack with your leader. There's just a lot of good benefits here. So this is a high priority target for your opponents to remove. Really good. Next is Perona. This is OP14. This is a really important card as well. 5/6/1. 2 abilities on play. Up to 2 of your opponent's characters, 5 or less, cannot be rested until your opponent's next turn. Now, if you think about this, it's way better than you think. It stops them from not only attacking, but also blocking, right? So, for example, to block, you have to rest a card. If you have this, you can stop 2 characters from being rested as well. So you have these Hody Jones, you have these demonic auras, but you also have these Peronas if you need a 5 cost. So you have a 4 cost to rest, you have a 7 cost to rest, and then you have a 5 cost for 5 or less that you can't rest, right? So you stop them from blocking at all, which is really good, until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you stop it from blocking that turn, or you can activate it on characters that won't attack next turn. So it's a really crazy card. When this card is KO'd, you can rest another one of your cards, and by the time you have this, hopefully you have your coffin boat, so a Dawn will always be up. You can go ahead and rest that card and play another green character, 5 or less. Now, you can play any green character, 5 or less, even more Peronas, so that's really cool. So you can chain them together and really have a lot of stunning, so this card is really sick. Unfortunately, it's just not searchable with your Perona card. All right, Hody Jones. What do you want me to say? Hody Jones is a staple in a lot of green decks. I'm just running 1 in here from OP06. 7/8/0 says strike, so can't be searched. 2 abilities, rush for 8,000. Not terrible. On play, rest 2 of your opponent's characters and Dons. Then you go ahead and self-hurt for 1. I say self-hurt, you take the top. Now that we have cards in the deck like Boa, where you actually literally take a damage, we have to really differentiate the types of terminology here. So you take a life instead of getting hurt, if that makes any sense. So it won't activate triggers. So yeah, this is good for primarily just ending the game, right? You really have better cards to play on a 7-drop, such as the Shanks, but this is good as a Hail Mary, rest 2, then with your leader ability, rest the stage, 3 more Dawn back up to put on a lot of stuff. It's just way better in this deck because you have a little bit more attacking power thanks to your leader's ability, right? All right, next is Shanks. I'm running these at 4. These are really cool. OP14, right? This is a 7/9 slashing searchable, and it's a brick. So 2 abilities, your turn, when this character is rested, rest a 7,000 or less. Remember, on your leader ability, you can play this and then use your ability to rest itself. So you can rest the Shanks because it doesn't do anything on the board. You rest it, and then you can start resting a 7,000 to lower a blocker, lower a character that you can start attacking into, which is pretty cool. Then during your opponent's turn, if this character is rested, which if you use it on this, it's always going to be rested, then all of your opponent's characters gets negative 1,000. Now, as we've seen from the 10-drop red Shanks, this is already an extremely powerful ability. This right here, where is it at? All of your opponents have negative 1,000 power. This is super good in a lot of red decks, and I would say that this is going to be even better in this green deck here. This is an extremely powerful Shanks card. I highly recommend running 4. It's perfect for the curve. It's searchable, and if you get multiple, you're going to lower it by 1,000, 2,000. And on future turns, you don't have to use your ability to rest it, of course. You can just attack into stuff in general. So, damn, this card is good. All right, time for your late game. Now, this is what I talked about where I said this sort of deck is pretty open-ended. You can really build it however you want. I found I won a lot of games using this Zoro, so much that I'm thinking of adding even more, but for now it's just 2. So this Zoro's from OP6, 9/9 slash, it's searchable, and a brick. 2 abilities, when attacking, once per turn, rest the Dawn during the attack to set this character back up. Activate main, once per turn, rest 2 Dawn to set this character back up. So theoretically, you can get 3 attacks in. This is really good because after you play this 9 or 10 Dawn, it's ready to attack. Now, usually you have to spend all of your Dawn in order to do stuff, but luckily with your leader's ability, you can play things a little bit out of order. For example, your leader ability allows you to bring 3 Dawn back as active. Once you have the Zoro, you want to actually use up at least 3 Dawn. So you could play a Perona, you could play a Koshiro, rest something like the coffin boats or the Perona you put down, 3 Dawn is back as active. Then you have all the Dawn to put on your leader, on your other characters, plus you've already set up another blocker on the board, which is why we're running Koshiros in here. I think they're really strong. Or you can set up a Tashigi beforehand. So you set up a Tashigi forehand, and then you can go ahead and put the Dawn. So you lose no Dawn before you have to do some attacking with it, so which is really good. Damn, this is a really great card. So it's just good for the deck. So do that as well. I think Zoro's really good for this. And time for your last card of the deck, character card, right? It's going to be Dracule Mihawk, OP14, 9/10 slashing. It's searchable. 2 abilities. Your turn. When this character is rested, up to one of your opponent's 9 or less cannot be rested until the opponent's next turn. Once again, you play it, you can rest it using the leader's ability. Stop a 9 from being rested, meaning they can't block or they can't attack. Really good. Until your opponent's next turn. Now, if you think about this Mihawk, unless you're fighting 10 drops, you can always, every single turn, stop a 9 from attacking. That character is going to be stunned for the whole game, as you know, if without any intervention. The second ability here is on your opponent's attack once per turn, trash a card to give your leader or character 2,000. This is the only card in the deck, I said this before, that allows you to actually remove bricks. You have, how many bricks in this deck? You have 12 character bricks, right? So it allows you to remove a little bit. You don't need 3 Mihawks in your hand, maybe 2. Like, I think 1 Mihawk, 1 Zoro, 2 Shanks will be a perfect late game. You don't need the rest, trash them all, etc. So it's really good. So like I said, late game, aggressive control. Shanks will help you stop aggression with the overall rushing wide. If you're safe, Zoro can win the game. And then if you need to go 1-to-1, mano-a-mano, Dracule Mihawk to really mess all that stuff up. So that's my deck for Mihawk. As I said, if you guys want to see the deck in action, I'll be uploading all the duels that we have recorded. We recorded a ton of duels with every single OP14 leader, and of course we matched them against each other and then matched them with OP13 leaders, and just mess around with all that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about the deck. Make sure to like and sub. It really helps out the channel. Thank you so much, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.